What's up, family? So today, man, I got a very special person to come, holla at y'all. Um, he's actually from my hometown, and he's pretty known within the battle rap industry. My partner right here, Preach. You know what I'm saying? Preach
King
been on the
Brujo.
quest. Yeah, you know me. I'm King Brujo, but Preach is a different breed. Like y'all gotta understand, like this brother, he's into battle rap, but he'd been on a conscious journey for a while. And so he's a brother that he come from a certain lifestyle, and he's able to be a part of things without being of it. You know what I'm saying? So this is how, like, at the end of the day, that's why I value him so much, is because he's able to put things in a perspective that people can really understand, coming from a certain lifestyle, a certain background, that we don't hear enough of that point of view in
Hip
spirituality,
hop. Yeah,
whatever
yeah.
you want to call it, hip hop, because they be half in, half out. They be half in chasing clout, half not chasing clout, right? So, we know what this is. So what I wanted to talk to my brother about is a while ago, what would you say, like a year ago? How old is Lil Mamba?
Yeah, he was born March 7th of 2020, like right before the pandemic hit. And dog, when I say this story, like now that it's starting to come back to me, bro, the way everything it just came back to me when you asked me to describe what my son's journey was, bro, it was so much that most of us would look at as like a negative thing. But me being connected with you, I think a month before you came to my crib. Remember? Don't forget that. It's not
Yeah,
about when my son was born. It
word.
was when you and your goddess came to my crib and the energy, bro. I was like, I was fucked up. I was like, yo, this is the real deal. This is the nigga that you see on YouTube that you think is young Pharaoh or Brother Polite. All of these niggas that you think is about something. This is the guy. This is the guy. That's what I felt. Nah, man, this shit changed my life, dog, in a,
So
in a major way.
basically, my brother, I came through, we chopped it up. And from that point, when I had came back, he had hit me up. Something was going on with his son. Something was going on with his son because
Bro,
he wasn't born yet.
a week. It was like a week after you left.
Yeah,
It was a week after you left, dog.
word. And so
I was
basically,
shook. I was like,
yeah, so
that shit was
basically,
crazy.
I'm like, he like, yo, what can you do? What can you tell me? What about? Because these complications is happening. My son about to be born. So I said, listen, I can do.
Let me hold on. Not to cut you off. Let me tell you the complication. So this is what happened. My wife, you know how the woman has embryonic fluid in her stomach, and her stomach's pretty big, and she's 8 months pregnant. Her stomach, bro, when I woke up in the middle of the night and called you, her stomach had flattened. And you could pretty much feel the baby. And her, like, she didn't have no more fluid. There was no more air in her stomach.
So basically, bro hit me like, yo, this is happening. And he said, is there anything you can do? Is there anything you can tell me? I said, listen, man, we can go to La Sirene, who is basically the great mother. This is who people call Yemoya in Nigeria, Yemoja, right? Mami Wata. I said, she the one who we can talk to, and we can get this straightened out with your wife's pregnancy, with your little one, whatever, whatever. So basically, we ran through that process. So tell them a little bit about the complications and what ended up, occurring through that process, so they can understand.
All right, so this is kind of how it went. So, like I said, my wife wakes up and she's like, babe, I can't feel the baby. So I look at her stomach, and like I said, it was like deflated. It looked like a balloon deflated. And I'm like, yo, I gotta call my man. I gotta call King Brujo. I call you and I hit you up and you walk me through a ritual. Like, and this ritual, bro, that we did, the whole ever since we like, and I went to the store and I had, because you this is what it was. You had already prepared me to do the rituals first because I
Right.
was already asking you about what to buy. So I went to the store, I went to Dollar Tree, bought all my cheap ass, candles and stuff, got the incense, everything. You already had me set up. So when
Right.
the situation happened, I was already prepared. So boom, I was like, all right, yo, what with the shit that I got, what do I do? And you told me what La Sirene likes. It was,
Yeah,
fruits.
yeah. I put you on game with everything to do and all
Yeah.
that. Yeah. For
And
the
she and
entrepreneur.
she and all I could tell you that, bro, it was wild. When I went and did the ritual and you put me on what to do, you could see the ritual working. You could see the ancestors in my bathroom, bro. Like you could feel their presence. Like La Sirene was there. Like when I played the music, and I remember I asked you about that a couple of weeks ago. It's like, is it okay to still play the music? Like I don't fuck with the spirits. I don't want to fuck with the ancestors. These niggas know I'm okay. I'm a good guy. I just want to play your music because I fuck with you. Like I ain't trying to ask you for nothing crazy. I just like your spirit.
Right.
I ain't trying to over abuse and use the spirit. Like these niggas be calling on the spirit for money and shit. Like for weird. Like no, I want to call on the spirit for peace, for tranquility, for
Yeah.
clarity. You feel me? So genuineness, like that's what you told me is important. Be genuine. Do not be bullshitting when you ask in the spirit for anything. So I came from the spirit like, yo, I need my son to be taken care of. Like I need this to work out. We take my son to the hospital. Boom, he's born, and he didn't have any complications we could see right away, but he had a tongue tie, right? And he wasn't gaining weight. So I called you back like a month later. He wasn't gaining weight. We did another ritual, and
Right.
that's when he started gaining weight after like 30 days. But during that time, and this is an important point, don't be afraid to use the spirit. Don't be afraid to use the ancestors because I was afraid and I didn't want to overuse it. I let my son go 30 days and he ended up getting the eye issue. Like he has like his eye, he's like cross-eyed realistically. It's like a whole big ass word they use. But my son's pretty much cross-eyed because he wasn't getting enough milk because he's breastfed. He wasn't getting enough milk. During that 30-day period, I waited to ask you again what to do. But
Right.
I had a magic baby. Like he got born healthy and he shouldn't have been. I
Right.
should have went back into the practitioner that I was using and be like, yo, something else isn't right. How do I use this to be like, what do I use from you to get this right? But when I finally did, boom, now my son can see clearly, like his eyes are perfect. And again, his name is Carter Mamba McCoy. Like we named him right after Kobe, after, his middle name after Kobe, after he passed away like 2 months before my son was born. So like that was a crazy situation though, bro. And that was my sixth child. I have 6 kids. That was my sixth child, my last boy. And that shit was wild, bro. The
Word.
spirit, like La Sirene, like, I don't know.
It's
I
yeah,
don't know how to explain it.
and that's what I'm saying, family. Like, because a lot of people ask, because there's so much misinformation out. Like I had a client the other day ask me basically about, is it safe to have work done when she's pregnant and this. I'm like, listen, in tradition, because this is what YouTube be teaching people. When you going around YouTube with these new age people, they don't know no better. They just gonna say whatever. They're not attached
He's
to no real traditions.
scared. They got fear.
They're really afraid of this stuff. So they put out misinformation about Legba or whoever, and it's not even true. So no, I had to break it down. Like, no, traditionally, it's a must that you go to certain spirits when you're pregnant. It's a must. You know what I'm saying? It's a must to go to certain things and certain avenues when you're pregnant and ensuring that safe passage of the baby, because the medical field is so crazy right now and they make so much money on the complications. You can't even trust it. You know what I'm saying? You can't even trust what's going on.
Right now.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. And it's not enough holistic people that you can go through to walk you through them processes. You know what I'm saying? So
Bro, that really, 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 really noticed shit because you was like, you know how most of us says as black people, when a nigga say they know why you asking questions, why they doing it, et cetera, et cetera. Why you was telling me every step to do, I knew that it was working. Like I could believe it, I could feel it.
word.
But my thing is I don't think that we should all wait until you going through a traumatic experience to tap in with the ancestors. That's not how you should not wait until it's the end of the road where you feel like you don't got nothing left. Now you want the ancestors to do the work. You got to be in tune with the ancestors at all times.
Brand. Bro, preach it. So on your journey, like, you know, now your son is born and you've been continuing to keep your relationship with the ancestors. Just explain to the people how your life has been affected by that.
Bro, I keep a picture of my dad with me in my car. I was telling you when we were setting up for the interview, like, bro, like I used to be scared to look at a picture of my dad. I used to be scared to say my dad's name. I used to make up nicknames for my first son. He didn't have the complications, but his name's Baron too. And I was like hesitant to even use my dad's name talking to my son. But when I learned how the ancestors, like I am my ancestors, they're living through me. Their DNA and the Akashic records that's in my DNA is all intertwined. And that ladder, like, you know, they talk about that Jacob's ladder. They talk about the DNA when it twists, that ladder, that's who you are. Like, that's like, it's a hard thing to articulate for people that haven't done the work yet, but your DNA is not limited. You're not limited. Your DNA is not limited. We only use 10% of our DNA. 90% of our DNA, scientists call junk DNA. And these people are smart, so they know what type of words to use. They use the word junk for a reason. But junk, think about one saying that all of us know. One man's trash, another man's treasure. Yeah. That junk DNA that they try to say that you can't use or that is useless, that you don't have any access to, that's something that somebody else's treasure. That's our ancestors inside of us that's sleeping. It's not junk DNA, it's sleeping DNA. That shit's sleeping. So as soon as you wake up the ancestors within inside of you, it's a different John, bro.
That's a fact. What he said, it's not junk DNA, it's sleep DNA. And one man's trash is another man's treasure. So this is how, you know, without getting too far, because this is how people get their channels deleted and stuff. But man, they using your stuff, man. Your junk is their treasure and they capitalizing off of it. You know how? Because they know how to take what's so-called junk and put you back into a slavery mindset and benefit off of it. You don't even realize what's happening because it's
100%.
It's hidden, right? You don't know why when people do this, you react like that. But the people that created the society do. You understand? They know how to trigger you. Well, in the Boondocks, they said, oh, they just have a nigga moment. The Boondocks put it perfect. Where you just have a nigga moment on the Boondocks.
They trying to show you.
They know how to trigger this moment because they know within you, there's a side that exists that was very ancient and royal and majestic, but then they know that there was a side that got made into a slave. They know there was a side that was manufactured to be a nigga. And they know how to tap that side that they made to create a nigga and create nigga moments.
Exactly.
And they can do it through media. They can do it through media programming and stuff like that. So what my brother is saying is 100% correct, yo. It's not junk DNA, it's sleep DNA. And if you don't tap into that, and you can't even tap into the aspect that was a slave and got created a nigga, how can you conquer a nigga moment? How can you conquer that aspect of yourself? You're not going to be able to. You're not going
100%.
You're going to fail.
100%.
You don't even know what it is that's happening. So,
and these niggas are smart. These niggas is smart. The setup is a beautiful setup. But once you crack through that veil, you see how weak the plan is. The plan is really, really weak. With how much power is inside of you, it's a good strategic plan for a controlled mind. If your mind is controlled from the matrix, the system is perfect. But as soon as you open up, and I hate saying open up your third eye because it's such a cliche thing to say, but that's physically what the fuck happens when you do the fucking work. Like, you got to do the fucking work though, bro. This shit is just like anything else. Niggas want to go and get a job and get an hourly pay. They're like, oh, preach, how do you make $2,000, $5,000, $7,000 a week? It's not by going to sign up for a job to where they tell me I only make 15 an hour. Like, I couldn't have did it that way because you wouldn't be asking me how I make my money. I couldn't keep thinking like you and be at the level that I'm at. And it's not that I'm greater than you or better than you. I just activated sleeping DNA.
Sleeping DNA.
I activated something that from one of my ancestors millions of years ago, there's an ancestor that was a great salesperson. There was an ancestor that was a great cook. There was an ancestor that was a great fighter. There was an ancestor that was great at every single thing that I have access to do. That's why they tell you when you put your mind to it, you can do anything, because your mind has access to generations and generations of information. That's what your DNA is, information passed down. That's all it is.
I told y'all he not a regular battle rapper.
Nah, man.
I told y'all he not a regular battle rapper. But yo, hey,
different, bro. These bars is different, bro.
Hey, tell the people like how they can basically get in touch, like follow your content and stuff like that. Because a lot of people they into this. They into battle rapping.
Yeah, you could go on if you go to YouTube, you could type in Preach Verses, and the majority of my battles are gonna pop up. Some of my better performances, Preach versus Ready Rock, READIE Ready Rock. That was one of my best battles. Preach versus Dub MG, DUBBMG. Preach versus you gonna see. I got over 30 battles. I've been in the culture since it started, so like I'm a founder of this shit. So not that I'm like the best skill and talent wise, I could be, but I have other ventures and shit that I do. But the skill and talent wise, like the message that I bring isn't popular. Similar, like you said, I'm not your average battle rapper. So I had a battle this Saturday that just passed, and people said I lost because I was just talking about some shit that people don't want to hear when they come to a battle. But it's my life. I speak, I preach facts. I preach about what I feel is necessary for my community. I don't give a fuck if it's popular or not. I don't make money off of being a cool guy. I make money off of doing what other people aren't willing to do. So you can find me Preach Facts TV on IG, Preach Facts TV, Facebook, Preach McCoy. That's where you're gonna see most of my content. I'm blocked on Twitter for preaching too many facts, so I ain't on Twitter and shit like that. But nah, man, just hit me up on Facebook or Instagram, Preach Facts TV. If you want some employment, I hire people to work remotely. Is what it is. We do a lot of shit, bro. But most importantly, this information, this consciousness, this ancestral information that's loaded in your DNA is the most important thing that I want to get out before I'm out of here.
Word. So y'all already know, family. Look into his stuff. Is dope. Preach verses on YouTube or whatever else, and be in tune with the brother, man. Be in tune with him. You know what I'm saying? So with that said, we out, man. 100.